Oh, what's going on, YouTube? Bear here. This is Bear's Mix. Welcome to my channel. I've seen just a couple videos out there about Western Flyer Express. Very few videos, and all pretty much less than a minute long. Um, just want to go over a couple things real quick about the company. I've been driving with them since January 8th of this year, and I've been doing pretty damn good myself. Their lease purchase program is a lot different than any other companies out there. Um, the way they do their orientation, transportation, all that's a lot different than any other company I've driven for. Uh, when it comes to orientation, it's done in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Most companies will sardine can you, they'll stick you on a bus or on a plane and take forever to get there. Not these guys. They will rent you a car from your hometown to drive so you can bring all your equipment with you up to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma for orientation. Now, when you get to the hotel, it's not like other hotels. These are going to be single occupancy hotels, and it's at the Radisson Hotel. They put you up at the Radisson. It's single occupancy, which means you're in the room by yourself. You don't have to share it with anybody else. So feel free to relax and do whatever you do. Um, you drive up there to the hotel, you check in, you bring all your belongings, your equipment into the room with you. Then you go up to the street to the airport, which is only about 5 miles away. Drop the car off, and the airport, or in the not the airport shuttle. I'm sorry, the hotel shuttle brings you back to the hotel. The next day, you go into orientation. Excuse me. Orientation is 3 days long. First day, like any other orientation, you're going over some paperwork, you're doing your road tests, your drug screening, your physical, all that. Once all that's good to go, Tuesday you come back in for a little more not road work, I'm sorry, paperwork, some videos. They go over what they expect from you. You do go through the Smith defensive driving program. They do it a little bit differently, but it is still Smith's. Well, their version of it anyways. Now, on the third day, Wednesday, is graduation. You take everything from the hotel up to the school with you, up to the terminal in Oklahoma. When it comes time to go out to your truck, the managers and even the owner, if he's around, will help you carry everything out to your truck. They'll help you load it into your truck, get you logged onto your Qualcomm, get you all set up there, make sure you know what's going on with that. They'll have a couple guys standing by, mechanics. So you sit there, you do a complete inspection of the truck, make sure everything's up to par. Any problems or issues, they got the guys right there, the mechanics, to jump on it and get it fixed right away for you. Tuesday, when you go out to do truck selections, you go over to the assignment desk, you tell him what you're interested, what type of truck you want, what type of equipment you want. He'll go through the list and says, okay, well, I got this, and this, these closest match what you're looking for. Here, go look at these trucks, come back and tell me which one you want. Now, I wound up in a brand new 2019 Freightliner Cascadia. It had 139,000 miles on it. There was another driver in it before me, a team. Not exactly sure what happened, but they're no longer with the company. So that's just a few miles left I have to drive to pay off the truck. Once I hit 650,000 miles of dispatch miles, the truck's paid for. Today is May 11th, and I've been out since January 8th. And I've taken pretty much a week out every month, just to relax and decompress. And I've still got close to 50,000 miles on the truck in 5 months. So I'm doing around 10,000 miles a month solo. The way they do their payments are, well, let me back up a little bit on the lease. It's a $1 buyout at the end of your lease program. Your lease is based on 650,000 driven miles. There's a $1 buyout. The catch with that is, excuse me, it's not really a buyout. Because at orientation, before they take you out to the truck, they hand you the $1 bill that you're going to use to pay off your truck with at the end. It'll have WFX written on it and the date that you started. And then you go back in with that, you hand it to them, they hand you the title. Once all your mileage is in, you own the truck. It's free and clear. Do with it what you want. Keep it, sell it, trade it in, whatever. Um, Now, their payment program, you start out every week $308.18 in a hole. This covers a $145 flat payment for the truck. Your truck payment's in two parts. I'll get to the second part here in a little bit. This covers $145 for your truck payment. Then your TransFlow is $3.56 a week. Your 2090 or your highway use tax is $10.58 a week. Your occupational accidental insurance, so if you get injured while you're working, that's $29.54 a week. Your bobtail insurance is $7.50 a week. That's it. Your physical damage insurance, so if you get into an accident or you strike something and you damage it, this is a part of your insurance policy that covers it. That is $87 a week. Then the Qualcomm is $25 a week. It's split $12.50 and $12.50. $12.50 goes towards the rental of the Qualcomm unit, and the other $12.50 goes for the service. That totals $308.18. Excuse me. Don't know why I yawn when I make these videos. But yeah, that's it. You start every week owing $308, unlike other companies where you start out owing them $1,000 or more for the week. And if you take a couple days off or a week off or something, it's next to impossible. You get in such a deficit, it's next to impossible to get back out. Here, $308, your next load, you got your past week due and your current week's covered. Now, fuel is heavily discounted. That's going to be your biggest expense. Is going to be your fuel when you're on the road. May I use 7.5 miles an hour, 7.5 gallons per mile is the base that I use when I'm calculating my mileage when I go to buy fuel. If my trip is 1,000 miles, I'll divide 1,000 by 7.5, 75 gallons. That's what I need, 75 gallons of fuel to get me through that trip. And that's all I'll buy. I'll buy a little more. If I need 75, I'll buy about 85 gallons. You know, you never know about delays or anything like that. It's going to cost you time on the road, or you're sitting or you're having to take a detour or something. Always buy a little extra fuel. Now, if I'm going through a mountainous area where I know I'm going to be going through a lot of mountains and pulling a lot of grades, I might use 7 rather than 7.5 miles per gallon and calculating how much fuel I need. And when I get to my destinations and drop off, I'm usually a quarter, maybe an eighth of a gallon of fuel. I know some people are going to say it's not good to run it that low. It's not a problem. The only thing you're going to pay full boat on is your DEF. There's no discounts on that. But if you go to the national chains, if you go to like Pilot Flying J, who has the best discounts for us, or you can go to Love's, TA, Petrol, any of the Pilot Flying J brands. I mean, they got a bunch of off brands. Town Pump, Road Ranger. There's one other off brand that they have that are actually owned by Pilot Flying J, or they're associated with them, so you get those rates. There's been fuel purchases where I've gone, I've spent $475 to fill up my fuel tank, and then I look at what I've actually charged for the fuel. It was $179, so I saved $200 on fuel. Every time you fuel up, every time you get fuel, make sure you go to one of the main brands and stick. I personally stick with Pilot Flying J, especially got that program going on right now. If you fuel up 4 times, is it 4 times? See, the 4 or 6 times in a month, you get quadruple the points. You normally get a penny a gallon or 1 point a gallon, and you use those points to purchase stuff in store. You can buy a CB on it, anything. There's a bunch of stuff you can buy with it, with the points. You can use it for food, snacks, or whatever. The trucks, they all have brush guards on them. Now, it depends on the truck. Some of them have refrigerators, some of them do not. But they are all equipped with power inverters and either an APU or an EPU. My truck's got the EPU, so I don't burn as much fuel with that as I would with an APU. The EPU will start the truck up and run it for about an hour if the battery voltage drops below a certain point. Just keep your batteries charged. Whereas with an APU, it's drafting right from your fuel tank the whole time it's running, so you're burning fuel that you don't need to be burning, which adds to your expenses. Uh, there's also I use Equinox Business Solutions with them, which is an accounting company that specializes in owner operators, independent contractors, lease operators, what have you. I've got their top level on it, which is $22.95 a month, a week. My bad, $22.95 a week. What this covers is all your record keeping, all your bookkeeping. Every week when you get your settlement emailed to you, you email it to them. Every month you email them an out-of-pocket expense report, so any money that you spend on stuff for the truck or on the road, hotels, truck washes, cleaning supplies for the interior, air freshener, your bedding, refrigerator, microwave, CB radio, your trucker GPS, your cell phone bill. You can now write your cell phone bill off. It's now a business expense because you're using your cell phone to communicate with your dispatch. You're using it to communicate with the shippers, receivers, brokers, what have you. Your cell phone's now a business expense. It's tax deductible. I have a Wi-Fi hotspot on my truck with my laptop. I went out and bought a new laptop. My other laptop, I've had it for a few years. It was burning out. Time for a new one anyways. I went out, I bought a decent laptop, and I'm writing that off of my taxes. $1,600 on a laptop, write it off of my taxes. I have this right here. This is a mobile wireless printer. I use this on the road all the time. And I also have this little thing right here. It is a sheet feed scanner. One page at a time. You scan it into your laptop while you're on the road. I also have an eFax account. So I can do everything right from the truck, right on the road with my Wi-Fi hotspot and that eFax account. I can scan, copy, fax, print, everything right from my truck. So if I need anything on the road, I have it right there. And the scanner, I've had it for a couple years now. I think I paid $75 for it, and the printer I paid like $150 for it. You can find them really cheap on eBay. The scanner is a Brother DS Mobile 600. The printer is an Epson WF100 or Workforce 100. You're probably getting them for about $100, $125 online now, especially on eBay. They're worth having on the truck. They'll help you out a lot. Sometimes you'll go pick up a trailer and the registration is missing from the trailer, or the inspection report, which you have to have it in there. If DOT decides to inspect and you don't have that, you're going to get written up, you're going to get fined. You get in there and you're doing your pre-trip when you first pick the trailer up and those documents are missing, you get a hold of your dispatcher and say, hey, can you send these documents to them, email them to me, fax me, whatever. I'll print them out and put them on there to replace what's on the trailer. That way you're covering yourself, and you know the company, they now know that you're paying attention to what's going on too. The other expenses you're going to face in here, like I said, your biggest expense is going to be your fuel. Your second biggest expense is going to be your truck payment, or it might be the other way around. You start out owing $145 a week on your truck, which is part of the 30818 I talked about earlier. Then there's a variable. It's 23 cents a mile, dispatched mile, empty or loaded. So every mile you're dispatched on, 23 cents of what you make goes to the truck payment. That adds up kind of quick. Then you have the 12 cent a mile variable for your warranty program. It's not an escrow account. You don't get this money back. But what it does cover is pretty much bumper to bumper. It covers everything. All your expendables. What are your expendables, you ask? That's easy. Headlights, belts, your brakes, shocks, tires. Anything you replace at regular intervals are expendables. Even your light bulbs, your oil changes, your filters, it's all covered under that 12 cents a mile. You need a set of tires for your tractor, boom, you're covered under that 12 cents a mile. It's decent the way they do it because everybody pays to save 12 cents a mile. It goes into a pool, and the company draws from it to pay for repairs for the drivers when they need them. And the amount of trucks they have in here, that pool builds up pretty quick, and it works out. There's lots of miles. There's plenty of miles here. I'm just going to go over a couple of my statements here real quick with you. This one here is from February 17th. My total miles for the week was I had 3,083 loaded miles and 182 empty miles. My total gross pay for the week, this is before all my deductions and my fuel and my expenditures and everything, $4,211.85 to the truck for the week. Now keep in mind, I'm get $1.07 a mile base pay plus 100% of fuel charge. For that week, the fuel surcharge brought me up to $1.29 a mile, so it was 22 cents a mile on the fuel surcharge. Now you take out all my expenses, take out, let me zoom in here a little bit, make it easier to read this. Take out my fixed costs, the all that stuff I went over earlier, the 308.18. Take out my fuel costs and miscellaneous charges. I had a $50 miscellaneous charge on there that was, I think it was a cash advance. Speaking of cash advances, you do get to take a $100 cash advance once per week. So my total expenses for the week, I spent to the truck was $4,211.85. All my expenses, fuel, mileage, warranty, all that was $2,265.53. So for that week, I took home $1,946.32. Basically $1,950 for the week. Then we go over here to another one. This one here was from February 24th. It was a short week. I only had, what are we at here? I had 2,001 loaded miles, 240 empty miles. I total pay to the truck was $28.90.89. After all my expenses, I took $799.57. Keep in mind that week, I might have had a breakdown that week. I don't remember offhand. But the way they do the dispatches on it too, if you're dispatched on a load on Friday, and you don't pick the load up until Saturday, you still get paid on that load as if you picked it up on Friday at the end of the work week. So that could sometimes throw your checks off a little bit. That might have been what happened here. I don't remember. With 2,000 miles, it might have either been a breakdown or it might have been one of those weeks where I had a long run the week before, and then this load wasn't dispatched until like Saturday or something. Or I might have already been under a load Friday and picked this one up like Tuesday or Wednesday or something. How many loads did I do that week? Yeah, that was one trip. From Calexico, California to Inglewood, Ohio. And let's take a look at another one here. My gross to the truck, I had 2,750 miles loaded, 293 miles empty. Gross to the truck was $39.10.74. I had $50 in detention pay, so my total to the truck was $39.50.74. After all my expenses and everything, my take home was $13.73.96. Let's take a quick peek at this week's pay. Total miles for the week, 4,153 miles. Loaded, 312 miles empty. Gross to the truck, $5,358 even. After all my expenses, my take home, my check tonight is going to be $2,614.20. So $2,600 for the week take home. These are not my biggest checks. These are not my smallest checks, but this is just some of them at random. Let's see. Try and find another good one here for you guys. That's, come on, just takes a second from the load of 4 months worth of settlements at a time here. Here's a check here for $2,271. Here's another one for $2,250 take home. Here's one for $1,346. Here's one for $1,946. I mean, each week's varies, but you can see, I mean, I'm making some decent money take home every week as a solo driver. Keep in mind, I've still got to pay my income taxes on this stuff. But if you keep track of all your business expenses and you turn everything into Equinox to figure out your taxes for you, they'll calculate all your business expenses and everything, and then at the end of the month you include your out-of-pocket expenses for your additional deductions. They figure out what your quarterly taxes are. Just your fuel purchases alone, 90% of the time, is going to wipe out your tax liability for each quarter. So you should have a tax return. Although I'm not holding my breath on this one with everything going on and all the waste, fraud, and abuse of spending right now by Congress under the guise of the CARES Act, or whatever they're calling it there, for COVID-19. There's a lot of stuff going in with COVID-19 bills that has nothing to do with COVID-19. They're just pushing the green agenda. Anyways, I don't want to get into politics. Here's a check right here for March 30th. My take home was $3,226.99. I took home $3,200 that week. My mileage for the week, that was just 3 trips. That was from where we at here? Missouri to Oklahoma, Oklahoma to Spokane, Washington, Usk, Washington to San Antonio, Texas. That was 1 week. This is one of those weeks where that last load, Spokane to San Antonio, I was dispatched to it on a Friday. I didn't get it picked up, I think, on a Sunday, and drove it straight down. So because of that overlap, the day it was dispatched being on a Friday and me not being picked up until Sunday, I still got paid this week on it. So that was a decent take-home paycheck, $3,236.99. See, here's a small check for $672. That had to have been when I took a couple days off. Then the next check after that was $2,319. There's another check for $2902.82. Here's another one for $1152.18. You can make money at this company, especially as a lease purchase driver. Yeah, they got some crazy rules. They are a little, they like to micromanage a little bit, but there's money to be made. I don't know why they have such the turnover rate they do. There's no forced dispatch, especially in New York City. You do not have to go to New York if you do not want to. I try to avoid California like the plague, but sometimes that's all there is for a load. And you know, if I'm out in nowhere, Texas, and the only load available is going to Blythe, California, I'm going to take the load because I know I'm going to go from there. I'm going to go right down to the border there in Calexico, and I'm going to pick up a load that's going to have a couple thousand miles on it. It could be going to Indiana, it could be going Texas, it could be going to Maine. The load I'm under right now, well, that was until my truck broke down. I got a little problem with the electrical system, but I was supposed to deliver that load this afternoon, but that didn't happen because the power went out on my truck. Not exactly sure what it is yet. I said it should be ready tomorrow. But still, which means I'm losing the last 150 miles on this load. It was a $658 tow bill. Oh no, I'm sorry, $568 tow bill. From where I broke down back here to where I'm at right now in San Antonio, or not San Antonio, Abilene, Texas, to get the truck work done. The tow is covered under my warranty package, so it's not costing me anything on a packet. Thank God. Hotel room, I'm staying. I just went and got a hotel. With my truck's in the shop. Obviously, I can't sleep in it tonight. Uh, it's like $58 for the hotel with taxes. That's covered by the company, and I'm getting breakdown pay on top of it. It's like $125 a day. It's not much, but it'll help. I mean, I got some decent money on my run down here. This week's paycheck, well, I should say next week's paycheck, or last week's paycheck actually. Yeah, I picked that load up the other day. It delivers now, so I'm getting paid next week on that load. They do hold back 2 weeks. I'm looking at about a $2,200 paycheck, I think, for next week. I don't have my notepad in front of me that I got all my notes on. That's in the truck. But I do record all my mileage every day. I record my dispatch mileage, and I sit down and figure out what my expenses are going to be for the week, and I get a general idea of what I am going to take home. And I'm usually within $100 plus or minus on my guesstimates. I'm just doing everything at $1.20 with this fuel surcharge, which is what it was this week. I believe it was $1.20 this week. Let me double check that. I forgot to look at that earlier. Yeah, $1.20 surcharge. So, I mean, fuel surcharge has gone down 9 cents, but look how much fuel has gone down in the last couple months. Plus, on top of all the major fuel discounts we're getting, I mean, I'm saving some money on it. Now, if anybody out there is interested in the company, it's called Western Flyer Express. Not to be confused with Western Express, two totally different animals. Western Express will screw you over 50 different ways to Sunday. I mean, as you can see here, I'm reading through some of my settlements here. I'm making some decent money. You can make some decent money too. If you're a driver with at least a year's experience, they do have several different things. I'm on drive-in. Very rarely do I go north of the 40. I normally stay below the 40. 90% of my freight is just straight drop and hook. Like the load I was supposed to be delivering this afternoon. I would have got there late last night, dropped the trailer off, grabbed an empty, and had a new load this morning. I've been rolling again if I hadn't broken down. But yeah, the majority of my freight is drop and hook. They have dump trucks. They run flatbeds. They even run on the Permian Oil Basin. There's a refrigerated. Refrigerated pays a little more. My base pay, being a dry van with experience, is $1.07 a mile. So it's not that bad. Plus the fuel surcharge. It could be better. When I first started driving in 2011, I was getting $3.65 a mile. But then I was a driver trainer, so they were paying me more money because I was training new drivers. If anybody out there wants to know more about the company or wants me to put you in touch with a recruiter or anything, please shoot me a message with your name, your address, and the city you live in, and brief driving history. Or not your, sorry, your name, the city you live in, your telephone number, and a brief driving history, and I'll have one of the recruiters contact you. So hopefully we can bring you in. If you come in using me as a reference, we both get a little bonus when you come in and get under your first load. There is no sign-on bonus, unfortunately. And there is no orientation pay per se. I mean, look how much money they're spending to get you there anyways. They're spending extra money rather than getting a cheap bus ticket. They're renting you a rental car so you can be comfortable when you drive up and you can bring everything with you. They're putting you up in a decent hotel, in a hotel room by yourself. You don't have to share the room with some stranger, so you can free ball it if you want. I know I do. You eat, they feed you 3 times a day, unlike other companies. You get up in the morning, there's a breakfast buffet at the hotel. You go to orientation, there's takeout for lunch. And then when you come back to the hotel after orientation for the day, there's a dinner buffet. Then on the third day, when you're heading out to your truck, they hand you that dollar bill that I told you about earlier. Plus, they hand you $100 bill, which is basically your orientation pay, so you can get food or whatever for the truck. Some I didn't get in complete what I was talking about earlier with the equipment in the truck. They'll have brush guards on them. They'll have power inverters. They'll have either an APU or an EPU. Some of them have refrigerators, some of them do not. But they all also have direct TV, satellite TV systems in them with a 24-inch flat screen TV, which the company pays for. The radio has satellite XM, that's paid for too. All your permits, tags, all that, your pre-pass, easy pass, company pays for all that. Most other companies, if you're a lease or owner operator or an independent contractor, they'll make you pay for your plates and everything. Not these guys; they cover all those expenses for you. So it saves you some money there. Anyways, leave me a message. Send me a direct message, rather, a private message with your information if you're interested in the company, you want to know more about it, or if you have any questions, I'll answer them as soon as I can. I'm not always online because obviously I'm driving a lot. But then I'm going to wrap it up there for now, and I will catch you guys out there on the road, and hopefully I'll catch you out there in one of our trucks one day. Alright, man, the bearded one out.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.